Let the battle begin. Oh, Nemesis throws itself into the wall early on. That's not a good sign. Oh, massive deflection there from Standalone. Standalone holding up well to Nemesis very early on and putting the number 3 seed under pressure. What a shot from Standalone, taking the fight to Nemesis. This is probably, I think this is the most pressure we've ever seen Nemesis under. They're throwing themselves to the wall to start the fight, and now Standalone's wedge is proving their toughest of enemy yet. What a big hit there from Standalone again and again. Standalone keeps on delivering, but can he take? Nemesis still has an incredible amount of kinetic energy that is being delivered into Standalone. Oh, and you can see it right there. The wedge goes flying off. The second wedge Nemesis has thrown to the wall in a row. Standalone now is starting to fall apart here. After an incredible start to this fight, Nemesis is... Oh, there goes the lifter. Standalone is barely alive. This is be heartbreaking for the number 19 seed. They started off so well, and now they're in the corner, and they are getting counted out. The pulverizer is slamming over and over to signify their defeat. What an ending to this fight. It was absolutely incredible. Nemesis was on the ropes for the most part, taking massive deflection from Standalone and throwing itself across the arena. But eventually that wedge wore down, and Nemesis got a great hit on the side of the wedge that ripped it off and sent it flying, and from there it was all downhill for Standalone. They tried desperately to use that lifter, but it immediately failed them, and Nemesis just ripped apart an incredibly heartbreaking Standalone, and the pulverizer just came down over and over again to signify their defeat. Let the battle begin. Blip is the second lowest seed left standing. Siege Engine, I think, is in the middle or around the higher. It's a very tentative start to this fight. Not what we're used to seeing from Siege Engine, but you can see that one fork of Blip is getting in the way of Siege Engine's forks. This is very tentative. Now Siege Engine slams Blip into the wall, and the other fork has come off. Now we'll start to see the usual aggression of Siege Engine. And after that attack, a great attack there from Siege Engine, and again, Blip, the rookie, is struggling here, and they go flying. Oh, there go both eyes. Now Siege Engine throws Blip out of the arena. It started off slow, but it quickly turned to the rapid pace we're used to seeing Siege Engine at.
2, 1, knockout.
Lots win fights quickly. The difference between the two is that Siege Engine is more reliable. So Siege Engine had the advantage, and they got their forks off of Blip, and then they just threw them around the arena in an incredibly dominant manner. And they are the second bot to move on to the top 8. Let the bot battle begin. Two very powerful vertical spinners meet in the arena, and Bite Force's lower ground clearance is proving superior to Unnecessary Violence' superior weapon power. Unnecessary Violence is on its side, it can still drive, but that weapon is no longer spinning. And now Bite Force is capitalizing on Unnecessary Violence, trying to use screws, and they have thrown him out. An absolutely surgical performance by Bite Force. They get an easy spot in the quarterfinals.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
Absolutely perfect from Bite Force. They knew what they had to do. They flipped over Unnecessary Violence. Unnecessary Violence couldn't spin its weapon, and then Bite Force just took them out of the arena with ridiculous ease. Let the bot battle begin between Yeti and Swamp Thing, two very different weapon ideologies, and so far the control ideology of Swamp Thing is winning. But Yeti does get out of the screws. That's not the worst. Well, it's probably the worst attack they've suffered this season. But there's a good shot from Yeti, ripping off a rather bizarre piece. That's from the side of Swamp Thing. Now Swamp Thing is up and gets Yeti up on the screws again, but Yeti does come back down when the screws reverse. And there goes the wedge of Swamp Thing. And now Swamp Thing is on his back. This is very bad for the 20 seed. The undefeated Yeti looking to remain unbeaten, and they're working on just that. Swamp Thing is now in the corner. They cannot get up. And now they are out of the arena with a brutal shot from Yeti. That drum kid is still capable of winning fights, and it just got Yeti into the quarterfinals.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
Start of this fight, Swamp Thing was controlling Swamp Thing was controlling Yeti and looked like it might get the upset, but Yeti countered with a brutal shot that ripped off the wedge. Then they flipped Swamp Thing and got him in the corner, and from there, there's only a couple of hits until Swamp Thing was out of the arena. The bot battle begin. The winner of this fight faces Nemesis in the quarterfinals, and Biohazard gets to the side of Thunderbolt, but the Glares lifter onto Thunderbolt's flipper, Thunderbolt underneath, and now he throws Biohazard into the screws. Two corner wedges have come off. Thunderbolt on the attack, a massive flip there. A great sequence by Thunderbolt, given to him by an error from the weapons operator of Biohazard, and now Biohazard is on the ropes. Now they're up on the wall. Can they get down? And they appear to have gone down, but Thunderbolt just throws them out of the arena. The Flipper King will advance to take on the 3 seed Nemesis in the round of 8.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
Biohazard made an error in lowering its weapon onto Thunderbolt's. Thunderbolt got underneath and put them in the screws, which took off 2 of their corner wedges, allowing Thunderbolt to get underneath and flip them over the wall in just a couple of flips. Let the bot battle begin. Gigabyte spins up and already is flipped over by Tantrum, who pins him in the corner and then throws him out of the arena. This fight is already over. The 1 seed will face Siege Engine in the quarterfinals with an incredibly quick win.
2, 1, knockout.
Incredible hits as Tantrum's fight against Mad Carrot, but still an incredibly quick win. Flipped him over and threw him out. Let the bot battle begin. The number 31 seed Whiplash upset Orbital Fire in the round of 32 and is looking to do a similar thing to a similar bot in Lucky, and they are taking control of this fight a lot easier than they did Orbital Fire. They've already suplexed the Canadians. This is I believe, if I remember correctly, the last international team in this competition. And as Lucky gets put into the screws again, Whiplash is taking advantage, complete control, and now he throws him out. The number 31 seed advances to the quarterfinals. What a run from Whiplash.
2, 1, knockout.
Just a perfect fight from Whiplash, complete dominance from start to finish. He quickly threw Lucky all around, got him off center, and got him out of the arena. But his next fight is a rematch with Bite Force. Final battle of the round of 16 begin. Lunar New Year versus Uppercut. Oh no, both bots get flipped. Uppercut is invertible, Lunar New Year is not. Oh my goodness, this would be a heartbreaking end for the number 5 seed, and undefeated by an Uppercut. It is just playing with them now, rips their wedge off with ease. Oh my goodness, I think Uppercuts is having too much fun knowing what their next fight is. Now Lunar New Year's is broken into pieces. Their run ended by increasingly powerful uppercuts.
3, 2, 1, knockout.
Has been gaining strength all season, but they're fighting the 4 seed Yeti next in a rematch from the fight they lost. We'll see what happens then.